Space was silent. Cold. Endless. A small Talar patrol ship drifted through the aftermath of a battle. Broken ships floated like corpses. Fire still burned on shattered hulls, their glow fading into the black. The crew of the patrol ship searched for survivors. They expected to find only their own. They were wrong. Among the debris clinging to life was something the galaxy had not seen in decades. A human soldier. His body floated inside broken armor. One arm twisted, blood leaking into the void. His chest rose and fell, barely. His face was pale, scarred, yet alive. The Talar medic froze. By the stars. It's human, the others recoiled. Humans were the Deathworlders, the species everyone feared once. Dangerous. Reckless. But they had been silent for years. Some called them extinct. Leave him, one officer said. If the council learns we brought a human aboard, they'll strip our ranks. But the medic stared at the man's heartbeat on the scanner. Weak, dying, still fighting. No, he lives. We must help him. The bridge filled with voices. Helping him is suicide. If Earth finds out, they'll come for us. No, Earth is gone. They've been silent for generations. The medic's eyes narrowed. Maybe they were silent. But does this look like silence? He fought through fire, through death, and he still breathes. They hesitated. The galaxy told stories of humans, some true, some myths. Stories of men and women who would not die, even when worlds burned. Finally, the captain sighed. Bring him aboard, the decision was recorded. The Talar ship's feed streamed to Central Command, and from there leaked into the galaxy's net. Billions of aliens watched as the soldier was laid upon a glowing medical bed. His chest rose, his breath shallow, but steady. The galaxy gasped. A human alive? Rescued by aliens? Impossible. The medics worked quickly, their hands glowing with tools of light. They sealed wounds, pumped oxygen, and repaired torn flesh. Still, the soldier hovered on the edge of death. He cannot survive, one doctor muttered. The chief medic shook his head. As long as the heart beats, there is hope. Those words spread across the galaxy like fire. Some mocked them. Others trembled. In the great concordant spire, alien leaders gathered around holoscreens. They saw the human's heartbeat, weak, fragile, relentless. The core speaker hissed, "Why save him? Do they want to call Earth's wrath?" The Avar general slammed his clawed fist. Earth is finished. They have no fleets left. But the Velen elder leaned forward, his eyes haunted. No, I fought them once. I know what they are. Save one human, and the rest will come. The chamber fell into silence. Back on the Talar ship, alarms blared. The soldier convulsed, his heartbeat spiking. Strange energy flickered from his broken armor, filling the chamber with an eerie hum. What is happening? The captain shouted. The medic shook his head. His body. It's calling something. The lights flickered. Every screen glitched. And then, across the galaxy, deep space sensors detected it. A pulse of energy moving outward from the Talar ship. Racing faster than light, straight toward Earth. On backwater worlds, smugglers whispered, "Did you hear?" A human lives? No, impossible. They died out years ago, then explained the fleets moving near Sol. On trading hubs, crowds gathered around screens. Some cheered. Others trembled. They saved him. Now Earth will come. Then we are doomed. The galaxy buzzed with fear. The question spread like lightning. Why save a human? Inside the concordance chamber, voices rose in fury. Kill the soldier before it's too late. No, if we kill him, Earth will destroy us all. They won't. They can't. But the elder only whispered, they will. And they can. In the medical bay, the soldier gasped. His eyes snapped open, glowing faintly in the light. The galaxy watched live. Billions holding their breath. He whispered one word, his voice broken but steady. Home. At that same moment, alien sensors lit up. Massive warp signatures erupted from Sol. Dozens, hundreds, fleets, Earths. Fleets, they were coming. The galaxy could not stop watching. Every world replayed the same feed. A human soldier, broken and bleeding, saved by alien medics. His weak voice whispered one word, home, and then came the sensor reports. Strange warp signatures rising from Sol. Too many. Too strong now, the galaxy whispered a new question. Is Earth coming? On the trade hub, Jathra Prime, giant holoscreens glowed over crowded plazas. Aliens of every species stopped to stare. The feed showed the human lying in the medical bay, still alive. It showed the Talar medics fighting to keep him breathing. An Avar vendor spat. Fools, they should have let him die. Now, Earth will awaken. But a younger alien, eyes wide, whispered, you don't understand. Humans, they never leave their own behind. If he lives, they will come. The crowd shivered. Hope and fear tangled in every voice. In the towering council chamber, leaders of 100 worlds argued. Their voices echoed like thunder. The core speaker shouted, "This is madness! End it now. Destroy the human before the fleets arrive." Azel Admiral slammed his tail against the floor. "Do you dare? Kill him, and Earth will burn us all." The Velen Elder rose slowly, his eyes tired but sharp. "You children do not remember. I was there long ago. I saw their fleets, ships the size of moons, weapons that tore through our strongest lines. They disappeared into silence, but never into weakness." The chamber fell into uneasy silence. Across the galaxy, rumors spread faster than light. Pirate dens, smuggler bars, mining colonies, everywhere the same words. They say Earth has hidden fleets under their oceans. They say their armies sleep under mountains. No, I heard they never sleep. They wait. The galaxy was divided. Some laughed at the tales. Others trembled, remembering old scars. On the Talar flagship, the medics kept working. The human soldier's heartbeat grew stronger. His body twitched with strange energy, his wounds healing faster than expected. The chief medic whispered to his crew, "This one soldier has shaken the stars. Imagine what happens when his people arrive." Hours later, confirmation came. A Talar deep space probe near Sol captured images before its signal cut. The feed shook violently, blurry and distorted. But the shapes were clear enough. Massive warships, dozens, hundreds, rising. From Earth's orbit, like mountains of steel, the galaxy gasped. A child on a distant colony pointed at the screen and whispered, "They're real." Back in the council chamber, chaos erupted. Mobilize the fleets. No, evacuate the border systems. Do not provoke them. Every voice clashed, fear dripping from every word. Finally, the Concordance leader raised a trembling hand. "We cannot fight them, but we cannot run. We must." Wait, the silence that followed was heavier than any shout. For decades, Earth had been quiet. No messages, no ambassadors, only silence. Now, that silence shattered. Across subspace, encrypted human transmissions filled the void. Codes no alien could crack, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then, one message came clear enough for all to hear. Fleet departure confirmed. The words repeated again and again. Echoing through every system, on frontier outposts, soldiers gripped their weapons tighter. On mining worlds, workers abandoned their shifts, staring at the skies. On wealthy core planets, leaders demanded their fleets prepare for evacuation. Everyone asked the same question: why would Earth send fleets for one man? Back on the Talar flagship, the rescued soldiers stirred again. His eyes fluttered open. The medics leaned close, waiting for words. His lips moved. His voice was faint, but certain. "They're coming." At that exact moment, sensors across half the galaxy screamed. Dozens of human fleets jumped into deep space. Dreadnoughts, carriers, ships larger than any alien vessel. Their engines burned like stars. Their heading undeniable. The Concordance capital. The galaxy froze. For 70 years, Earth had been silent. No fleets, no messages. No ambassadors in the Concordance chamber. Aliens called them a ghost species. Forgotten. Weak. Extinct. But the galaxy was about to learn the truth. Earth had not been silent because it was weak. Earth had been silent because it was waiting, and now the silence broke. On the edge of the Concordance network, deep space relay stations went wild. Screens glowed with strange new codes, streams of encrypted messages so heavy they burned through subspace channels. Are these human transmissions? One officer asked, staring at the flood of unreadable signals. They must be, whispered another. No other species encrypts like this. For hours the transmissions came. Some were too complex for alien systems to decode. Others carried only one clear phrase, repeated endlessly like a heartbeat. Fleet departure confirmed. Every world froze. Merchants abandoned their stalls. Soldiers crowded barracks halls. Children stared wide-eyed at glowing screens. Across the stars, the word spread. Earth's fleets are moving, the silence is over, the humans are coming. The proof came from a battered Concordance probe drifting near the Sol system. Its feed was shaky, blurred with static, but clear enough to terrify the galaxy. From Earth's orbit, colossal ships rose into the void. Not one, not 10. Hundreds each was larger than the greatest alien battleships. Their engines burned with blue fire. Their hulls gleamed with symbols long forgotten. The feed cut before the probe was destroyed. But its final frame spread everywhere. A single human dreadnought, larger than a moon, moving into formation. Inside the Concordance Council chamber, chaos ruled. Alien leaders shouted over each other, voices trembling. This is impossible. They cannot have hidden such power. Why would they reveal it now? The Avar general snarled because of one soldier. One life, they moved their fleets for him. The core speaker hissed, that cannot be true. No species is that reckless. The Velen elder shook his head slowly, his eyes haunted. You do not understand. This is not recklessness. This is who they are. I saw it long ago. Save one human, and they will shield you forever. Harm one, and you will not live to regret it. The chamber fell silent. For 70 years, no human voice had spoken to the galaxy. But now, the feeds cracked with static. Every screen and every system flickered, and then a face appeared. A human. The ambassador was old. His black uniform marked with the seal of Earth. His eyes were sharp. His expression cold. You ask why our fleets move. You ask why silence is broken. You ask why 4. 1. He leaned forward. His voice steady and heavy with weight, because one human life is never alone. One is all. All are one. This is the doctrine of Earth. The galaxy froze. Billions leaned closer to there. Screens, merchants, soldiers, children, even criminals. Every soul felt the same chill. The ambassador's words spread like fire. Replayed endlessly across feeds. Save one of us, and Earth will come. Harm one of us, and Earth will follow with fire. On the Talar flagship, the rescued human stirred again. His wounds still glowed faintly under alien medical lights. He sat upright, coughing, his eyes fierce despite the pain. The chief medic whispered, "You live. Your people are coming." The soldier smiled faintly. His voice was soft, but his words struck like thunder. "They always come." The medic stared at him, realizing too late what those words meant. Alien sensors screamed as warp points lit across half the galaxy. Human fleets emerged in perfect formation, their dreadnoughts glowing like fire in the darkness. Each fleet moved with terrifying discipline, their weapons already armed. On the Concordance capital, civilians flooded the streets. Staring up as shadows passed over their cities, the sky was gone. Only ships remained. Back in the council chamber, the ambassador's face returned one last time. "You saved one of ours," he said. "For that, you will be remembered. But know this, If one of ours is ever harmed again, no star will be far enough, no world strong enough to shield you. The screen went black. At that exact moment, alarms screamed louder than ever. A new fleet had jumped into orbit above the Concordance capital. It was bigger than the rest, and its weapons were already aimed at the Council itself. The galaxy had asked one question over and over again. Why would humans move fleets for just one? Now, above the Concordance capital, they would hear the answer. The skies were blackened by colossal human dreadnoughts. Their weapons glowed like suns. Their engines pulsed with blue fire. On the ground below, billions of alien civilians stood in silence, staring upward, and then every screen lit up. The humans were ready to speak. The image filled the galaxy. A human commander stood at the heart of the largest dreadnought. Her armor was black, lined with glowing veins of blue. Her eyes were cold and unshaken. You ask why we break silence? Why we move fleets? Why we awaken for one? Her voice was calm, but every word struck like thunder. Because one of us is never alone. Because one of us is all of us. Because when one is saved, Earth remembers. Billions of aliens leaned closer to their screens. Afraid to blink, the commander raised her hand. And holograms bloomed behind her. They showed human history battles long erased from galactic records. A handful of human ships tearing through entire alien armadas. Human soldiers holding battle lines even after their bodies should have failed. Families reunited under banners of fire and steel. These are our memories, she said. Not myths. Not legends. This is who we are. The images shifted. Now they showed the rescued soldier lying in the Talar medical bay, his heart still beating. The commander's voice hardened. This is our doctrine. Save one of us, and you will never stand alone. Harm one of us, and you will never stand again. The Concordance chamber erupted. Leaders shouted, panicked, afraid. This is madness. No empire can fight like this. They threaten the galaxy itself. The Corps General hissed. They cannot fight everyone at once. But the Velen elder shook his head. His voice was low, trembling with memory. You don't understand. They don't fight for conquest. They fight for family. And for family, there is nothing they will not burn. Across the stars, the doctrine spread like fire. On smaller worlds, oppressed species wept with hope. Maybe Earth will shield us. On stronger worlds, empires trembled. If they unleash that power on us, we are finished. The galaxy realized something terrifying. The humans were not negotiating. They were declaring. On the Talar flagship, the human soldier stirred again. His eyes opened wide. He sat up, ignoring his pain. The medics whispered, Your people are here. The fleets have come for you. The soldier's lips curled into a faint smile. His voice was weak but steady. They always come. The medics exchanged fearful glances. They understood now. One human life was enough to summon storms. The commander's voice rang again across the galaxy. To those who shield us, who value life, who honor humanity, Earth will protect you. Our fleets will defend your worlds. Our armies will stand at your gates. For the first time, hope lit the faces of weaker races. They saw not just fear in Earth's words, promise. Then the commander's eyes darkened. But to those who harm us, who kill our own, who dare touch humanity with violence, Earth will not send fleets. Earth will not send armies. Earth will send fire, storms, and silence. Your stars will burn. Your names will be forgotten. The galaxy trembled. Suddenly, the dreadnought above the Concordance capital shifted. Its massive cannon glowed brighter, humming with terrible energy. Alien alarms screamed. Defense fleets scrambled. Civilians fell to their knees in terror. The commander's voice thundered one last sentence. Remember this day. For today, you learn humanity's doctrine. The dreadnought fired. It was not a beam. It was not a missile. It was a wall of pure energy ripping through orbit like a tidal wave. Alien ships dissolved into dust. Defense platforms, once thought indestructible, shattered in silence. On the ground, shock lit the skies, turning night into burning daylight. Billions screamed. Billions fell silent. When the blast faded, the alien fleets above the capital were gone. Not broken. Not scattered. Erased. The human commander's face returned to every screen. Calm, cold, absolute. You wanted to know why we moved for one? Now you understand. This is humanity. This is our doctrine. Her face vanished, and then sensors across the galaxy screamed with a new alarm. Another human fleet had entered the system. Larger than the first, vaster, deadlier. The stars went dark a second time. Above the Concordance capital, the skies were no longer skies. They were walls of steel. Human dreadnoughts filled the heavens, their engines glowing like blue suns. On the ground, billions of aliens stared upward in silence. Some trembled, some prayed. Others simply watched, frozen, and then came the moment everyone feared. The humans prepared to fire again. Alien defense fleets swarmed into orbit. Hundreds of ships formed a shaky barrier between the capital and the human armada. Concordance. Admiral Zather broadcast across all channels, his voice sharp but trembling. Humans, you trespass in protected space. Stand down, or we will open fire. The reply was cold. Human voices carrying no fear. Stand down, or witness why you feared us. Inside the council chamber, panic grew. Fire first. One leader shouted, "No. If we fire, they will unleash everything. They already have." The Velen elder whispered, "They are only warning us. If they truly wished war, this city would already be dust." But outside, alien ships locked their weapons. The moment was balanced on the edge of a blade. The lead human dreadnought shifted. Its hull split open, revealing a weapon no alien had ever seen. A cannon the size of a mountain extended forward, glowing with blinding energy. "Impossible," Admiral Zather whispered. The cannon fired. It was not a beam. Not a missile. It was a shockwave. A wall of pure blue-white energy that tore across orbit like a tidal wave. The alien fleet vanished. Ships disintegrated into dust. Massive cruisers cracked apart as though made of glass. Entire formations burned away in silence. The waves struck the capital's defense platform, a fortress said to be indestructible, in less than a second. It was nothing but ash. Billions on the surface screamed as the night sky turned white. Every world saw it live. Every colony, every station, every hidden outpost. The galaxy watched what one human shot could do. On mining colonies, workers dropped their tools. On trade hubs, merchants fell silent. On military bases, soldiers stared at screens, trembling. One whispered the words that spread across the stars. "We can't stop them." Inside the council chamber, chaos erupted. They destroyed an entire fleet with one blast. No weapon should exist like this. They will erase us all. The Velen elder closed his eyes. That was not their full power. That was their warning. On the Talar flagship, the rescued human soldier opened his eyes fully. His body still bore wounds, but his voice was stronger now. He looked at the medics around him and whispered, "They fired, didn't they?" The chief medic nodded slowly. The soldier gave a faint smile. "Then you know. This is only the beginning." The medics exchanged terrified glances. What they had done saving one man had changed the galaxy. Forever, the human commander's face filled the galaxy again. One shot. One warning. "We do not seek war. We seek justice." Her eyes burned as she spoke. "Save one of us, and you will have Earth's shield. Harm one of us, and you will know Earth's fire." Her words echoed across systems, replayed endlessly. Some took them as hope. Others, as doomed across the galaxy, smaller species whispered, "Will Earth protect us too? Or will they burn us if we disobey?" On stronger worlds, rulers trembled, their fleets useless compared to what they had seen. No one had answers. Only fear. In orbit, the human dreadnoughts shifted again. Their cannons glowed brighter, their engines roaring. Alarms screamed across the capital. The skies burned with blue light, and then sensors picked up something worse. Another fleet was entering the system. Not alien, human. This second armada was larger than the first, vaster, deadlier. The stars disappeared for the second time in a single night. The galaxy had seen Earth's fleets. The galaxy had seen Earth's weapons. Now, the galaxy would see Earth's soldiers above the Concordance capital. Human dreadnoughts hovered like mountains in the sky. The first shockwave had erased alien fleets in silence. The world below trembled under the shadow of humanity's power. And then, the dreadnought bays opened. Thousands of dropships poured from the carriers, glowing like burning meteors as they streaked through the atmosphere. Alien citizens screamed, pointing at the skies. The formation was too perfect, too precise, as though every craft moved with the same heartbeat. Concordant soldiers on the surface raised their weapons. One whispered, That's not an army. That's a storm." The dropships struck the open plains outside the capital with thunderous force. Dust clouds rose. Engines roared. Doors hissed open, and out stepped the armies of Earth. Rows of human soldiers marched in black armor, their visors glowing faint blue, their weapons taller than most aliens. The ground shook under their synchronized steps. Tens of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Marching as one. The sight froze entire cities in silence. Alien commanders shouted, "Stand your ground! They cannot be more than men." But their soldiers shook. Some dropped their rifles. Others fell to their knees. The sound of human boots striking the ground was like thunder. A rhythm, a warning, a promise. One alien whispered what many thought. They don't march like soldiers. They march like executioners. At the front of the formation, a human officer raised her weapon and slammed it into the earth. The sound cracked like lightning. She removed her helmet. Her scarred face stared straight into the broadcast cameras. Her voice echoed across the world. "We come not to conquer. We come to remind you of the cost." One life was saved. And for that, Earth moves. Her words spread across the galaxy, carried to billions of screens, on mining colonies. The weak whispered with hope, "If Earth fights for one, maybe they will fight for us too, on wealthy empires." Rulers trembled. If this is what they send for one, what would they send for many? The doctrine was no longer rumor. It was fact. In a dark cell near the capital, an old alien commander sat chained. He had fought humans long ago. His scales were scarred, his eyes weary. He watched the feeds of the marching soldiers and whispered to his guard, "You don't understand. This is not their full army. This is only their forward line." The guard scoffed nervously. "Forward line? Then where is the rest?" The old commander closed his eyes, waiting, always waiting. On the Talar flagship, the rescued human stirred again. His wounds were healing, his voice stronger. The medics leaned close. "Your people are here. Armies of Earth have landed." The soldier gave a faint smile. "Not armies. Family." The medics froze at his words. For humans, war was not about conquest. It was about kinship. That truth frightened them more than fleets. The human commander on the ground raised her voice again. "One of us was saved. For that, we send our shield. One of us is harmed. And we send our fire. Remember this, for it is the only law we follow." Her words were carried across systems. Echoing endlessly, the human soldiers raised their weapons as one. Their visors glowed brighter. The air trembled with power. Alien sensors blared across the galaxy. More dropships were entering atmosphere. Not tens of thousands this time. Millions. The Concordance capital shook as wave after wave descended. And then, the largest human dreadnought in orbit opened a bay unlike any other. Inside was not an army. It was something far larger. A colossal war machine. A titan built for planetary war began to descend. The galaxy froze in terror. The galaxy had seen Earth's fleets. The galaxy had seen Earth's soldiers. Now, the galaxy would face Earth's judgment. Above the Concordance capital, dreadnoughts hung like black suns. On the plains below, millions of human soldiers stood in flawless formation. Their visors glowed, their weapons gleamed, and their silence screamed louder than any words. And then the humans spoke. Every screen in the galaxy lit up again. The human commander stood tall on the battlefield, her voice calm but sharp as a blade. You saved one of ours. For that, Earth shields you. But know this, if even one of us is harmed, Earth will not send fleets. Earth will not send armies. Earth will send storms. You will not survive. Her words echoed into every home, every warship, every council chamber. Billions listened. Billions trembled. On the wealthy world of Avar Prime, generals screamed at each other. They cannot protect everyone. Then why do their fleets cover the stars? They threaten every empire in the galaxy. On small colonies, the weak whispered with hope. If Earth stands for one, maybe they will stand for us, too. Maybe the age of empires is ending. Inside the Concordant Spire, alien leaders shouted over one another, send them tribute. Offer them technology. No, they only want loyalty. The core speaker snarled, they want submission. Nothing more. But the Velen Elder shook his head slowly. No, they want only one promise, never again harm their kind. And if we break it, no star will hide us. The galaxy replayed the human message again and again. Merchants scrawled it on banners. Soldiers whispered it in fear. Civilians painted it on their walls. Save one, and Earth shields you. Harm one, and Earth ends you. The doctrine was no longer a message. It was a law in the cells beneath the capital. The old alien commander who had fought humans long ago laughed bitterly. You see it now. You see why they vanished into silence? They did not sleep. They waited. And now the storm has returned. His guard whispered. Trembling, what happens now? The old commander smiled grimly. Now the galaxy bends. Or it breaks. On the Talar flagship, the rescued human soldier sat upright. His wound still burned, but his eyes were sharp. The medic stood in silence as he stared at the broadcast of his people on alien soil. They came for me, he said softly. They always come. The medics felt a chill. They realized the truth. This one soldier, this single life, had pulled entire armadas across the stars. Across the galaxy, lesser species began to rise. On enslaved worlds, crowds chanted for Earth's protection. On border planets, refugees painted the human emblem on their homes. Praying dreadnoughts would come. The empires that once ruled with fear now felt fear themselves. For the first time, the balance of power had shattered. Back on the battlefield, the human commander raised her weapon high. Her soldiers slammed theirs into the ground, sound like thunder rolling across the world. Her face filled the galaxy one last time. This is the reckoning. Choose now, friend. Or enemy. The broadcast cut. At that same moment, sensors across the rim of the galaxy screamed. Something vast had appeared. Not human. Not conceit. An ancient signal filled the stars. We remember the humans too. The galaxy froze. The galaxy thought the nightmare was complete. Human fleets filled the skies. Human armies marched on alien soil. Human doctrine thundered across every star. But then, a new signal came. Ancient, cold, older than the concordance itself. We remember the humans too. For the first time, fear shifted. Not toward Earth, but toward something else. On the edge of known space, shadows moved. Sensors caught glimpses of ships, enormous, jagged, ancient. Their hulls glowed with strange green fire in the concordant spire. The Velen Elder collapsed into his chair, his voice breaking. No, not them. Not after all this time. Who are they? Demanded the Corps General. The Elder's eyes darkened. The ones who tried to end humanity before? The only ones who nearly succeeded. The chamber froze. If they had fought Earth once and lost, what would happen now? Above the capital, the human dreadnoughts shifted. Their cannons turned away from the city and toward the stars. The human commander's face appeared again. For the first time, her eyes burned with something fiercer than anger and anticipation. "You hear them," she said. "The old enemy. The ones who bled us long ago. They rise again." Her voice dropped lower, sharp as steel. "Do not mistake this. You are not our target. But if you stand in our way, you will fall with them." On the Talar flagship, the rescued soldier stood from his bed. His wounds still ached, but his body moved with stubborn strength. The medics gasped. "You cannot stand. You are not healed." He ignored them. His gaze was fixed on the window where the human armadas gathered. "They came for me," he whispered, "but they came for more. They came because the storm is not over. It never was." His heartbeat echoed on the monitors, strong and steady, the same rhythm pulsing through Earth's fleets, across the galaxy. Whispers rose. "If Earth fears this enemy, what hope do we have? Are the humans fighting for us or against us? No. They fight for themselves, and that is enough." The doctrine had changed. It was no longer just protection or vengeance. Now, it was survival. The human commander raised her voice once more. "You asked why save one? Why send fleets for one? Why armies march for one?" She paused, her face filling every screen in the galaxy. "Because we are not many. We are one. One heartbeat. One fire, one storm. And when the storm rises, no enemy, old or new, will stand." Billions across the stars felt their blood run cold. On the capital plains, millions of human soldiers slammed their weapons into the ground. The sound echoed like rolling thunder. Shaking the alien city to its core, aliens watching whispered in terror. "They are not men. They are storms in flesh." At the galactic rim, the ancient ships fully revealed themselves. Dark titans, older than Concordance history, engines burning with green fire. Their weapons glowed, aimed not at alien worlds, but at Earth. Their first transmission shook every system. "This galaxy belongs to us. The humans must fall again." The words spread like poison, carried on every frequency. Back in orbit, the human commander's expression hardened. She stared into the camera, into the galaxy itself. "You wanted to know why we move for one, why we shatter silence for one, why we turn fleets into storms for one." Her voice sharpened, her words final. "Because we are more than a species. We are humanity. We are the storm, and the storm is coming for them." At that moment, alien sensors screamed louder than ever. Every hidden hangar on Earth opened. Every buried fleet rose. Every secret ship left the oceans, deserts, and skies. The galaxy froze as it realized the truth. Saving one human had not just summoned fleets. It had awakened all of humanity, and now the storm would clash with something even greater.